Hey people, we're here with Ashley and Mike from the band, or the duo I should say, that called You and I. And they play all over New Jersey, and they also do open mic night at different places and clubs. So make sure whatever you guys do, please go out and check them out, okay? Now guys, I want to ask you a question. I'll start with you first, Ashley. Okay. What got you into playing in music? Do you remember your first time?
Yeah, I mean, I started with guitar lessons first. I think I wanted to sing primarily, but then my parents, when I wanted to sing, I was only like 8 or 9, and when we tried to get voice lessons, they said I was too young, they wouldn't give me lessons. So I started on the guitar, and then a couple years later I started with voice lessons, and then I got into musical theater and kept training, and then started getting into like playing and singing and writing stuff, and then we started playing together a couple years ago. So that's like the condensed version of.
Okay. Well, was there something that you saw that sparked you? Like, can you remember? Like with me, it was like the Beatles. I'm going back dating myself, but I'm saying I was like, I got to do it. I saw it, Like,
I mean, I did love the Beatles when I was young because my dad was always listening to them, and we always like played around with fake instruments and stuff. But I started listening to like Michelle Branch. She was like the first one. I just was like, she can sing and play her guitar, and it was just so cool at like 10 years old. And so then I wanted to do that. I think she's probably the spark because I learned her songs first. And then I learned like Kelly Clarkson songs because it was like what was on the radio.
Right.
It was, that's what I heard. And then I started getting into more singer-songwriter stuff, a little bit more obscure artists, and started playing that kind of music and writing my own.
Gotcha. How about you, Mike?
As far as starting playing?
Yeah, sparked you. Like, what did you see to say, I'm sure something had to hit you,
I started when I was 13, so at that age, I have an older brother who's like 7 years older than me, so I was just like kind of a replica of whatever he was doing. So he started playing guitar, and then a couple months later, I was like, that's what I want to do. So my parents got me a guitar for Christmas, and it was kind of like immediately an obsession. As far as musically, I think the first thing I saw that was like, oh, that's like the coolest thing. Even before I started playing, it was Slash from Guns N' Roses, just because of like the image. He has this top hat, you can't see his face, he's got the hair, and he's just like, ripping all the stuff. So that was the first thing that kind of got me, that bit me.
Got you into it,
And then forget it was, the wormhole ever has.
Just kept going. Yeah. That's great. Well, how important would you guys say it is to learning and getting the right education and playing, like learning, taking lessons? I mean, do
really
you feel...
Important.
Okay, and tell me why.
I mean, for instance, like I just know a lot of people who say that they haven't had any training, or they don't want the training, and I just feel like if you can use the training you have, and I mean, both of us have done extensive training.
Absolutely.
We've both started private lessons since we were really young, all the way through college, and, just continuing, and we both teach and all of that. So I think it's really important, and when you hear people saying they don't need the training, I think it limits them, because you don't understand how far you can really take things musically. Even a singer-songwriter, even though simplicity is really, really nice, I think, especially Mike, you can attest to this, that you know so much about how to play the guitar, and now you've kind of gotten into this mindset that you want to bring things back and try to feel how simple you can make music and use that. Even despite how fast and...
He brought up the Beatles, like, I think their simplicity is what made them... so amazing, because you can just hear one of their melodies just the first time, and then next time the chorus comes around, you can already
it's like a
repeat it.
Yeah, it's like the hook. They really set the hook.
Yeah, sometimes simplicity is very difficult to do.
Well, they say, what was the saying they used to say? To have a hit song, you needed 3 chords and the truth. Yeah. I think, and that would be it. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's a lot. You need to, it's not much to do, but it's hard to actually be able to do it and tell the story as you write, and things like that as well. Do you guys? How do you feel as far as the way music's going today, and like where this is kind of a double-edged sword that I say, and I'll tell you why. Because years ago, me being an old timer, it was like we were always whatever we didn't have the internet, so whatever we were focused, through the radio to hear, like they were coming out one after another. 1 week was Led Zeppelin, next was the Doobie Brothers, next was this, but kept you going. In today's world, you have the internet, so from a player's point of view, you have that search engine, so to speak, tool to help you. Do you find that hurts you in any way, or do you find it like as far as what's the good and bad in your opinion on that?
I mean, I
Is
have
there
a
any?
lot to say about this.
Oh, I'm glad. That's what I
mean,
want to hear it.
Because
important.
I love Spotify. I think it's amazing where you can just listen to anything you want at any time, and streaming is really where things are going, just streaming music. But then at the same time, we're trying to make a living doing it. So it's really hard to make money when everyone can just stream your music for free and get all of your materials for free. So it's hard. I think that the best way to handle it, because I've thought about this a lot, is that it's kind of roll with it and see where things go, because there's a lot of people out there. The music industry is huge, and there's a lot of people who are trying so many different ways to figure out how to monetize streaming and how to make these things eventually kind of turn the industry back around to being really, really profitable, because technology is going to just keep changing. So we might as well just try to figure out how to adapt and how to make it the best for us. Versus, I think if we fight it and we say we're only going to sell CDs, we're only going to do, like, you can't stream any of our stuff, because you can set laws. I mean, you can set restrictions on all of your music. But I feel like if we do that, then we're limiting our audience. So I'd rather kind of roll with it and see where we can go. And then there's also the idea of, like, other revenue streams and trying to get through merchandising, and live is really, and we love to play live, so that's good for us. So it's not like we're just recording artists. So I don't know. Do you have anything to say about it?
As far as what he was saying with like YouTube and stuff like that, me personally, I think it's great for myself. Because as far as I'm always learning, always writing out some kind of chart or something. Even last week I was looking at an Alan Holdsworth lesson. I don't know if anyone knows who Alan Holdsworth is, but
do.
phenomenal. He sounds outer worldly. So there's a whole 70-minute lesson that I got to watch, and taking down notes and writing out a chart where 15 years ago.
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
So I think there's good and bad. There's definitely a lot of information out there at varying levels. For me, who's kind of has a foundation already, it's great to learn new stuff.
So you got the theory aspect of it too, which helps you where somebody new.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So there's kind of a learning curve where something extreme like that is great. But if someone heard him and wanted to get there, you got to take lessons and, get the building blocks to get to his,
right.
outer spaceness.
That's true. Yeah. Well, if you guys then, just one final thing. What advice could you give? Because I'm hoping that parents are going to see this, because you guys have paid your dues and you're still paying it, and you will probably continue to pay it. Yeah. But if you could say to a parent or to have their child, what could you say to them, as far as like in a world today, again, I hate to keep saying in a world today, but things are so fast-paced and quick. Like, let's talk about Guitar Hero, for example. Green, yellow, blue. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where, what's your feelings on that? I mean, what can you say to kids on how important it is to, what do you think as far as really to practice and nothing comes easy? I mean, what do you think as far as, in your opinion?
Well, what I always tell my students is that it's not fun until you put in the work in the beginning, and it's not going to be fun unless you do the practicing. But then once you do the practicing, even just a little bit, it's just so gratifying, the feeling you get when you can really play through a song. And every piece is like a struggle. And then once you get through it, it's just such an accomplishment. Just from my own experience with lessons and training, it's a discipline that sticks with you forever. When you can play an instrument and when you can sing or do any of those things, it's something that you'll always have with you, and it's something that is always a part of you. And so if you can persevere through the tough times and you can, practice and keep going, I think that the end result is something that is really, really amazing and that you'll want to keep forever.
And they can't take it away from you.
No.
What's the other thing? How about you, Mike? What do you think?
I definitely think music education is important. We both had we still have very supportive parents. As far as, from the day I started, my parents had me sometimes doing 2 lessons, private theory lessons on top of that. Wow. It was, so they definitely supported me throughout everything, and it's definitely important. I'd say if a kid has an interest, a genuine interest, you have to support that, especially now, like you said, everything's so fast paced. I feel like all of our attention spans are just getting shorter because we have access to everything just like that. We don't have to wait for anything,
it's a quick result.
Especially with the internet. The internet's a great thing for music because there's all this information, but I feel like people are so used to getting information just like that, it's kind of hard to get them to focus, and I think that's the great thing with music and music lessons for kids. there's a lot of focus and a lot of things that you can
discipline.
apply to absolutely life, and prioritizing, you know, what you have to get done, stuff you're going to need, you know, for the rest of your life.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
in and spending the time with me.
No, thank
We're
you.
here with Ashley and Mike from the band You and I. And again, guys, please check them out on YouTube. Check them out in the clubs. They're playing all over New Jersey. They do the open mic nights. You know, if you play, come down, take advantage of it. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Thanks for Encore Chat. How's that? Really put an effort in to learn an instrument. It's so, so important. Thanks again for lending an ear. Thanks for stopping in to Encore Chat. I'm Pete Schmiedhauser that owns a small little store called Schmied's Music, 831 Route 10 East in the Pine Plaza Shopping Center in Whippany, New Jersey. Thanks, guys, and stay in touch to see more videos to come.